Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends. This time we're going to be looking at Jinx. Jinx being the most recent champion, as this video is recorded at least, most recent champion in League of Legends. Now this is another game taken from that high elo sort of replay website that I managed to find. This one, I have no idea what the context is for this particular game. It looks like a number of highly rated players decided to just form a ranked team for fun or something like that, because it's a number of fairly high profile players on here. So again, I don't know what the circumstances are behind this particular game, but it is an example of a Jinx game, and we're going to be using this one as a chance to go ahead and look at some Jinx gameplay as played by Chaox, I was going to say former professional player for Team Solo Mid, but is now apparently going to be in the professional scene again in the upcoming Season 4. The rumors are Chaox has been linked to Team Coast, although I don't know. That has not been publicly announced, not formally announced yet. I guess we'll see. But yeah, a number of well-known players in this game. For example, Cruiser the Bruiser is playing in top lane. Nijaki, the former mid laner for Curse, is playing in AP Kog'Maw in mid. And the support for GGLA, I think the support player, Bunny Fufu, is playing as support Zyra. But in any case, what we're going to be looking at in this game is we're going to be looking at Jinx. I have not had a chance to do a Jinx video. Finally was able to get a replay set up with some Jinx gameplay. So sort of a quick overview at the beginning for Jinx as far as she goes. Jinx feels like a very strong champion. I said when I did the patch notes when she came out that I thought she was really strong, and that has largely proven to be the case since she came out, because Jinx is a very common ban, both a very common pick and a very common ban in high elo. And I haven't really seen in the competitive scene, because right now we're in the season break between Season 3 and Season 4. But for right now, Jinx seems to be a very, very strong pick, and I expect that she's going to get nerfed and toned down in the future going forward. In any case, though, what is Jinx? Well, she has a great number of advantages. She gets crazy attack speed. She has outstanding range on her Q. She has a W on her W. Her Zap is really ridiculous. It's pretty broken as far as the skill goes. Great range, very high damage scaling, and slows. Has a crowd control skill on her E as far as the traps go. Put down traps that root the target. And finally has an ult that's a global that deals very high damage and is area of effect. So anyway, we'll look at that later. Let's first go through the skills. We're not going to be looking at other lanes. We're going to be focusing on just Jinx on this bottom lane here in this game. I will first mention the passive, Get Excited. Whenever a champion or tower that Jinx has dealt damage to is killed or destroyed, she gains 175% movement speed that decays over 4 seconds. So in any case, anytime Jinx gets a kill or an assist, or a tower kill, then she gets this gigantic burst of speed that then decays over the next 4 seconds. Really, really good in team fights. Really, really useful. Right there, you see the support Zyra getting pulled in and actually gives up an early death in that lane. A nice pull by Thresh in this bottom lane. It's a bit unfortunate for blue team here, because they were actually getting ready to gank. Actually, anyway, though, they look like they just want to go ahead and dive, so going to be jumping in. Jarvan's tanking the tower. He gets the first kill. Now Thresh is the only one left. He's going to land the pull. Can he get this kill? Going to dash to the target. Nope, not quite. Now Thresh is on one hit and going to get finished off. There is the Jinx passive. Note the big burst of speed. Chaox goes down to 80 HP, but does not fall. So it turns into 2 kills there, and there is no jungler anywhere in sight for the red team. So just going to be a kill and then a back. 1 kill for Jarvan, 1 kill for Jinx, and that's going to give them a big advantage in this lane, even with Vayne picking up a kill earlier. Alrighty, so that was Jinx passive, as I mentioned. Now let me go ahead and highlight her Q. This is, my opinion is this is her best ability. I know a lot of people have talked up her W, but I really think this is her best skill. And honestly, the rest of her kit could be terrible, and she would still be a pretty strong champion just based off of this. So what is this? Well, this is a toggle switch. Jinx can swap between 2 different weapons. The basic one, the one that you use most often, is the minigun. Basic attacks grant additional attack speed for 2.5 seconds. This will stack up to 3 times. The benefit starts at 50%. I believe it scales up to 130%. We'll check this throughout the game. While Jinx has the minigun, she has very short range. She has 525 range, I believe. Let me highlight it. There it is right there, 525 when she's using the minigun. But she gets crazy attack speed, and it's very easy to stack this up. Like I said, it starts, I believe, at 50%, and it goes up well over 100% at max stacks. You can see the stack counter right here, and it's pretty easy to keep these stacks up. As I said, it's a 2.5 second wait on the cooldown. So as long as you're auto attacking at all, you'll be able to keep this stacked up. And then at max rank, you can see Chaox is already at 1.1 attack speed with no attack speed items whatsoever. That's really good for ADs. Anyway, that's the minigun. As I said, the minigun gives you great attack speed, very useful for many, many different reasons. Obviously, ADs always want more attack speed. The alternate thing is you can swap to the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher gives you extra range on your attacks. Jarvan's coming in for a gank, but I believe this is not going to be successful. No, not going to be successful. The alternate is you can swap to the rocket launcher. Basic attacks deal bonus damage. They also have an area of effect function. It's a little bit like a Tristana explosive shot in that you deal a little area of effect bonus around whatever you're hitting. But the main thing is you get great range. Now the trade-off is you do lose that attack speed. You actually attack very slowly when you're with the rocket launcher. But as I said, great range. In fact, at max rank in Q, when you put 5 points in Q, the range is 700, and that is by far the longest in the game. I believe it's the same as a Kog'Maw when he has his W up. It's 50 range longer than Caitlyn. Caitlyn's auto attack range is 650, for those who are curious. And again, you can toggle back and forth between these skills at no mana cost. The one other downside of the rocket launcher is it does cost 20 mana for each auto attack with it. That's a lot early in the game. It's almost nothing as the game goes on. So in the late game, it's not much of a big deal. Anyway, what this makes Jinx is she's really, really good at pushing towers. She can poke at extreme long range, like as long as a level 18 Tristana. With her Q, with the rocket launcher. There's the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher right there. You can use it to AoE wave clear the ranged minions. That was what Chaox did right there. He just auto attacked 3 times and all the ranged minions died with the rocket launcher. So you can poke at great distance, or if you're using the minigun, you have outstanding attack speed to take down a tower quickly. And I think we get to see that later on in this game, if I remember. So anyway, her Q is amazing. She can swap back and forth pretty much at will between huge attack speed, short range, and slow attack speed, but godly range. And obviously that's just a really, really useful ability. It's like getting Caitlyn's range combined with, who's the other one I wanted to think of? Combined with Tristana's attack speed. Anyway, right there, it's another great pull from Thresh. Going to pick up a kill on the support Zyra, and just pulled into the tower. Managed to pick up that kill. So again, even though the bottom lane is, out farming enormously in favor of Jinx right now, Thresh has managed to make some plays here and pick up 2 kills on the support Zyra. Alright, other stuff. Let's highlight some of Jinx's other skills while we're still in sort of a slow point in the game. Her W, Zap, this is another one that's gotten a ton of attention from people. Fires a Shock Blast, deals physical damage, reveals and slows anyone hit. So there it is. Look, again, the range is ridiculous. The range is about 1,500, roughly speaking. It's around that. I don't know the exact number. But the range is insane. It deals the actual base damage is low, but the scaling is really good. It's a 1.4 ratio on the scaling. So, Chaox is 106 AD, and then note that it deals plus 148. So this ability scales incredibly well as the game goes on. And it also slows and reveals whoever gets hit. So yeah, somebody's in the fog and they get hit by Zap, they get revealed, and they get slowed too. It starts at 30%, goes up to 70%, which is just ridiculous. That definitely should be toned down. I expect that when Jinx gets nerfed, this will go down from, instead of going up to 70%, it'll probably go up to 50%. They'll probably change the scaling. But deals great damage, extremely long range, reveals, and slows. It's an amazing skill, and the mana cost is really low too. You can see it's only 45 mana. So this skill is wildly, wildly overtuned. The numbers are way too high. They will be toned down in future patches, but in the future we'll be talking about release Jinx and how ridiculous these numbers were. But for the moment, you might as well abuse it. Now, the downside to Zap. It has a bit of a charge up time. There is a cast animation, you'll see. So you can see it coming. You can dodge it. It does not go through minions. It will just hit the first target. It does not wave clear. It can only hit one target at once. And it has a very narrow hitbox. It's actually a bit of a difficult skill to hit on. A little bit of a tricky skill to hit. So it does have some disadvantages, but if you do land it, it's pretty ridiculous. Anyway, there's the rocket launcher, and again, you can see kind of the range at which you can harass. I will mention now the Jinx E, Flame Chompers. Jinx tosses out 3 Chompers. Once armed, explode on contact. They root the target for 1.5 seconds and deals magic damage. They last for 5 seconds. So anyway, this is her 1-point skill. Toss this down, and once the traps arm themselves, you get a 1.5 second root. It's a pretty darn good tool. You can use it for zoning. You can use it for the crowd control. Generally, ADs do not get much in the way of crowd control, so this is a pretty useful skill. It's a great utility skill, and especially it can do everything it needs with only 1 point. You don't get anything except more magic damage, and I believe a shorter cooldown for more points in the skill. So stick a point in this at level 3 or level 4, and then just leave it there. Then finally, her ultimate, Super Mega Death Rocket. Jinx fires a rocket, gains damage over the first second it travels, explodes on the first enemy champion hits, deals physical damage, plus a percentage of missing health. And its area of effect, nearby champions take bonus damage. Anyway, right here we got a little bit of a fight going on. So a pull in, there are the traps coming down. The Chomper is going to hit on Thresh. There's the Zyra ult coming out, exhaust. Out comes the Super Mega Death Rocket, but it's not quite enough to get the kill. Thresh is left with only 91 HP. But he is chunked, and he is going to be pushed out of lane for the moment. And going to allow for more zoning, as Chaox has been doing here for quite a while now. He's actually been zoning Vayne very effectively in lane, which is why Vayne's farm is so low in this particular lane. So the advantages of this, as I said, it's global. You can fire it anywhere. You can snipe kills on the other side of the map if you land it correctly. Let's see what this turns into. Xerath is roaming down. See if he's going to pick anything up. But Jarvan's here as well. There's the zap. Note that it misses. Out comes the Flame Chompers. And now can they finish off this kill? And, oh, look at that auto attack. Follows the Thresh Lantern. Let's go ahead and watch that again in slow motion just so we can watch that auto attack from the rocket traveling the most ridiculous path imaginable. So anyway, right here, we're going to watch this again, and we'll slow this down. Watch that last auto attack comes out. Whoop! Picks up the kill. So there you go. Worth watching once again. So anyway, yes, there's some weird stuff as far as Thresh Lantern goes. But, of course, taking the Thresh Express does not pop an auto attack. In any case, that is a 1-for-1 kill picked up by Jinx, traded for the Xerath player in middle lane on the other side. So anyway, as I was saying, Super Mega Death Rocket, it is global, does deal area of effect damage if it hits the target. It's a little weird as far as how you aim this thing, because there is sort of a there's a slight delay before it goes off. I've seen a lot of people miss like the point blank rocket, and that's because people aren't used to the skill yet. But great skill. I mean, it does, in addition to having a very short cooldown, I mean, look at this thing. It starts at a 90-second cooldown. It goes down to, I believe, 60 seconds at level 16, which is just, like, stupidly low. And it deals a percentage of the target's missing health and its area of effect. Again, note the use of the rocket launcher for wave clear right there while shoving the tower. Really useful skill. Anyway, right here, we're going to get a fight. Let's go ahead and watch this one. Vayne has popped her ult. Right now, Chaox is using the minigun for the attack speed. He is then going to go after Vayne and just needs one more auto. Not going to get it. Out comes the zap. That's going to miss. So, here comes Nasus. That's trouble. And he's going to get withered. Let's see, can Chaox manage to get out of this one? Nope, going to get pulled by Thresh, but he's going to cleanse that particular grab. And, again, just needs to kite backwards, basically, in order to get out of this one. Is it going to work? No, Thresh Express, once again, to the rescue. Going to pull the Nasus player, Master of Law, out of here. And it looks like that's going to be it as far as this fight goes. So, 1-for-0. Currently in favor of the red team. And I don't think that the blue team, Team Law Pro, wants to go and dive that one. Looks like they're going to back off. Alrighty, so as far... Oh, wait. We might have some more action here. That Thresh pull's going to miss. Let's see. Are we going to have more action here? No, not going to happen. Alright, here comes the Death Rocket. And, oh, going to whiff. Goes right between. That might have killed Vayne. Actually, I think it probably would have. In any case, Jarvan's still going back in. Let's see how this fight continues. Is he going to be able to get out of here? There is the rocket being used once again. Up, Chaox going to get pulled in, is inside the Thresh box, not going to make it out. Zyra, can she pick up a kill? Nope. Vayne's still on one hit, but doesn't look like Vayne is going to fall. So another nice pickup there by the red team. And elsewhere, it is going to be a kill on Jax. Can Cruiser get out? No. So a 1-for-1 as Xerath picks up that kill for the other team. Alrighty, so now that we've gotten a little bit of a break in the action, a little bit more about Jinx. As far as her sort of strengths and weaknesses go, her strengths are, well, pretty much anything that you'd want as an AD. As I said, she has great attack speed, she has great range, she has a global ultimate, she has a slow, she has a root. I mean, pretty much everything about Jinx is really good. There is one weakness of her, however, and that is she does not have any kind of escape skill, so she is very vulnerable. She needs a front line to protect her in a team fight. And if she gets jumped on, if she gets ganked, she really can't get away. She pretty much just has to rely on flash or cleanse or something like that. So she needs protection to do her job. But, you know, most ADs do need that, to be perfectly honest. I've heard a lot of people say Jinx is like a better version of Kog'Maw, and I think that that is an accurate comparison because they both get really, really high range, and they both output insane amounts of damage, and they both scale really well as the game goes on. But just as Kog'Maw has no real escapes and needs protection, Jinx is a lot like that too. So I think that that's a fair comparison. Anyway, right up here, we've got a gank, and it looks like Xera's going to get dunked right here and gets finished off by the rocket. Now the reset comes out again. Look at that reset. Out comes the slow from the zap, but instead of chasing Nasus, it looks like this team is just going to make a move after Dragon, which is still up, and just go ahead and take their prize off of this one. Now, as far as building Jinx goes, the general consensus that's emerged is for Jinx, you want to rush Bloodthirster as your first key item. That's because Jinx has incredibly good AD scaling on her W. Her zap has ridiculous scaling. I remember I mentioned it's a 1.4 ratio on her zap, so just stacking a lot of AD is really good. Plus, because due to the way that her minigun works, you don't really need to itemize too much in the way of attack speed. So anyway, that's why people generally go for Bloodthirster first, and then I've seen more build diversions from there. Well, we might be having a team fight here. Actually, that AP Cog poke is forcing the team away from this. Will we see a Death Rocket coming out? It is off of cooldown. Maybe. Might end up seeing it. It looks like they're just going to take the tower. And again, note how fast the tower gets pushed with that minigun. Now Chaox gets the reset off the tower. Jinx passive kicks in. And now Nasus getting low. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to go in. Actually, no. They're going right straight after Xera. T's going to flash back. And there comes the rocket. And that's going to pick off the kill right there. So again, that global ultimate, really good. And the push is on, and the push is going to continue. Still 4 members of blue team pushing down here in the bottom lane. Again, look, the minigun with maxed out Q dealing so much damage. Gonna have to flash out of the Thresh box. Right there, the root comes down. Note that Thresh gets rooted by the Jinx traps, cannot escape, and another kill picked up. The only real thing burned there was the flash having to be burned by Chaox's Jinx right there. So anyway, the push is on, the push is continuing. The only one here is Nasus. He probably needs to get out of here. And again, look how fast the tower goes down with that minigun. As I said, Jinx is really good at pushing towers. With the combination of how her Q works. Again, I'll highlight the Q because Chaox has chosen to max this first. What is this? 130% attack speed with 5 stacks. I still think that is way too high, and that will be toned down later on. And you can see the 175 range. That takes you up to 700 range once this is maxed. So there's also been a big debate about what skill to max first on Jinx. There's been some confusion about that as we get a little dance here from Mafia Jinx. I assume Chaox is waiting to buy something in the base. People have been sort of debating back and forth. Do you max Q first or W first? I'm in the camp that maxing Q first is better, largely because when you're in lane, it's easier to harass with Rocket Launcher with the bonus range than it is to harass with W. W is a great skill, but it's a difficult skill shot to hit. And I feel like maxing Q first is better, but I have seen people go the W route first and have success with that. So it's a bit of a personal preference right there. They're both excellent skills, and they're both useful ones to max ASAP. Obviously, scale your ult when available, and E is the clear 1-point skill. You don't need more than 1 point in Flame Chompers. But personal preference, I think that Q first is better because I just think that Q is an amazingly good skill. As good as W is, it's a little bit hard to hit. All right, anyway, got a little bit of a team fight going on again, so let's keep an eye on this. Vayne's going to flash out, but Vayne already getting chunked. Let's keep our eye on Chaox. He has already picked up an assist, so now he needs to kite backwards. He uses the traps to root Jax. He's going to dash backwards out of this team fight, and now, again, needs to keep kiting, so is going to use the rocket launcher for that bonus attack range. Going to get withered, burns his cleanse in order to get out, and now desperately needs to disengage from this fight. There is the W just for the slow. Is he going to get the traps down? No, traps are still on cooldown. Now using the minigun for the auto attacks to continue kiting backwards. In comes Nijaki on AP Kog'Maw. There's the traps for the root. Again, going to use that to set up another slow. Kog'Maw will go down. Now Jarvan desperately needs to get out of here. He is going to jump over the wall, and let's see if he's going to manage to escape from there. Now uses his standard to get out, and it looks like that's going to be it. So Chaox, again, you did a really nice job of kiting backwards and managing to get out of that fight. Jarvan, oh, all the W's, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Maybe shouldn't have stuck around that long. You've got the Mighty Jax after you. I'm just curious if he manages to run out of this one or not. Looks like he will be able to get out. So that was obviously a good fight for Red Team. They came out on top in that little exchange. But it didn't turn into a total disaster for Blue Team. And right now, you can see using the minigun to push. And that's an awful lot of attack speed for someone who only has a Zeal as terms of itemization. 1.8. Remember, the cap on attack speed in this game is 2.5. The highest you can possibly get. So awful lot of attack speed coming in for free there. And let's see, what is Jinx going to go next? Going to use, oh, first going to clear that ward. Going to use the ultimate. Is that back up yet? Yes, it is. Already back up again. Again, really low cooldown. Too low on the ultimate. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it goes down to 60 seconds at rank 3. That ultimate, pretty silly, in all honesty. Well, in any case, it looks like the teams have backed off. Blue team's about 5,000 gold ahead in a very comfortable position. But I had 4 towers to 0 and got the first dragon. So they're in very comfortable shape, but they still haven't managed to get, haven't managed to take a Baron and haven't managed to get any of the inhib towers yet. If we're looking at where most of the advantage in the game is located, top lane is actually losing for the blue team. The Jax is actually ahead, but the jungle Jarvan being played by this name is way ahead. Kog'Maw is 2,000 gold ahead in mid, and Chaox's Jinx is about 2,000 gold ahead as well. So that's where most of their advantage is built up in mid, in jungle, and in bottom lane, since they're actually behind in top. Alright, so we're going to see another push here in mid, it looks like. Chaox has gone and picked up red buff on Jinx. Now is looking to shove this lane. And we may get the chance to see Jinx's ability to push towers here once again. I think that that's what we see. So blue team has a pretty good siege comp because they have AP Kog'Maw, who is of course really good at hitting towers. Now let's see what they're going to do here. Keep an eye on Jinx again, since that's the focus of this video. Elise going to run in and get one auto attack. But again, just due to having all that range on the rocket launcher, then make it pretty easy to shove these towers because you don't have to get close. So it's sort of like getting the advantages of someone like Graves, who has short range, but then also getting to play as Caitlyn as well when you need the additional range. So there comes the W out just for the slow and for the reveal. And let's see, there is a rocket launcher. Again, look at how far away Chaox can stand to hit this tower. Like, he is not even close to it. Anyway, it looks like their team's going to look to engage, but Jax is going to get rooted by the Jinx traps. He goes super duper low, and he is out of this fight right now. And let's see, now Master of Law, the Nasus player, tanking. There's the super mega death rocket. Hits and deals damage to 3 people. Remember, is AoE. Now Jarvan's going to go in after Vayne. He's going to get stunned by Xerath, though, and will fall. Still, the tower goes down. Jinx passive kicks in when the tower falls. That looks like it's going to be it. And that's going to be the end of a successful push right there. So a 1-for-1, but the tower went down. And now blue team's going to rotate smoothly down the dragon. They should be able to pick this one up without any real difficulties. Alrighty, so with this dragon falling, going to be right back out to a little over a 5,000 gold lead. But more importantly, it's 5-0 in towers. And that's kind of the biggest issue in this game right now, is the lack of map control. I mean, like, here's the word coverage for blue team. Actually, red team's word coverage is pretty good, but not going to be able to contest that. What they're going to do instead of contesting dragon is it looks like they're going to run over here and potentially make a play for Baron. They are running in that direction. This ward, just before it died, spotted Xerath, but note that there's no wards here at the Baron, and that's going to be a rather bold play. So blue team has gone back and bought. They're running towards it, but are they going to be able to get here in time? Well, we shall see, but Baron is dropping rather quickly, so let's keep an eye on that health bar. Down to 4,000 health, still going down to 3,000 health, so now it's going to be a 50-50 smite war, and Jarvan's going to get hooked in, so no, actually, Nasus is going to pick this up, but now, can the team get out? In comes the Mega Death Rocket, that's going to pick up 1 kill. Meanwhile, the fight continues. Zyra getting off a good ult. Now let's just watch Jinx in this fight. Staying in the back, going to pick off another kill. Jinx passive kicks in. Another kill. That's going to be another use of Jinx passive. Chaox going to flash over the wall. Actually, he's getting assists, not kills. And now he's just going to chase. Going to get stunned, but instantly cleanses it. There's the Jinx passive again. That's going to be an ace. And so even though that was a very bold play to get that Baron, the red team just couldn't manage to get out afterwards. I mean, they got the Baron, but they weren't able to escape. And then look at how fast this tower is going down with all that attack speed. Then the Jinx passive kicks in. Not necessary here. But note with the Phantom Dancer, that attack speed is all the way up at 2.0 right now, which is just ridiculous with that 130% attack speed boost. So if you had a Nunu alongside Jinx, this would already be capped out on attack speed. That's just how insane this is. Like I said, Jinx, the numbers are just too high on Jinx right now. Of course, it helps that Jinx is 617. Obviously, that makes you look better. So another tower goes down. Baron has been cleared off of everybody on the red team. And it's just a matter at this point in time of blue team grouping up, looking to push their advantage, and looking to take an inhibitor for the first time. because that's really what they need to do to cement their lead and look to snowball this game further. In terms of the build here, remember I said Bloodthirster first. It looks like Chaox has chosen to go into Phantom Dancer as second item. I haven't seen people going Phantom Dancer second as much. I've seen a lot of Static Shiv as second item for people who wanted to push, if they're looking to do more of a split pushing build. I've seen a lot of Last Whisper as the second item, just for the armor penetration, just for the flat raw damage. And by the way, check out this physical damage scaling again. Look at the damage Zap is dealing. Plus 343, that's pretty stupid. And what's the scale? You can see the scaling on the ult is pretty good too, but it's mostly on that Zap. It's the 1.4 ratio is just crazy. And there's another kill picked off with the Super Mega Death Rocket. Why, yes, it is good to have a global ultimate. You can pick up kills all over the map. So that was a fight elsewhere, and just fire in the rocket and picked up a kill. So, like I said, it's a little bit silly to have so many tools at the disposal of one particular champion. Anyway, with the Xerath down, that gets rid of most of the tower defense capability of the red team. Xerath is, of course, very good at defending towers because he can stop the siege. And look at this, Chaox just auto-attacking. He is almost out of tower range when he runs forward to auto-attack with that rocket launcher. Really good at pushing towers, as I mentioned before. So red team is in an impossible situation. They have to try and defend this tower. Again, look at the range, way back here. Now even gets the Jinx passive kicking in off of that tower kill. So is red team going to look to go in? No, actually Jarvan's going to be the one to initiate this fight. Let's keep an eye on Chaox. We'll slow it down to half speed so we can watch. Look at going to do his best to try and kite backwards to stay away from Jax. Nice pickup elsewhere, and Chaox not really in any danger right now, still using the minigun. He's going to get hit by Xerath, but then able to walk back out of this one. Actually does not get stunned, just hit by the ultimate burst. Was waiting to see a cleanse there, but didn't have to use it. Actually cleanses on cooldown. And now it's just a matter of kiting after this fight and picking up the back end of that. So that's a double kill. That's an ace. And that's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Again, not really CC'd in that last fight. Didn't have any real trouble. And now it's just a matter of walking in, finishing off the Nexus turrets, and going from there. But hopefully this was a chance for people to get a chance to see some Jinx gameplay. As played by, obviously, some very good players. Both teams in this game have some pretty good players on them. That's going to be it. That Nexus is going to fall down. And there you go, an example of a Jinx game. Again, I've had Jinx in some of these games that I've done, but I haven't concentrated specifically on Jinx. I think that Jinx is really good. One of the top ADs, certainly right now. I think she will definitely get nerfed, if not in the first upcoming patch, then certainly very soon at the start of Season 4. In this game, Jinx ended up with the most gold, 11,700, 11.7k, 918 score line. So obviously I try to pick out games where a champion's played well or a champion's played with a great deal of effectiveness in order to show off what they can do. And hopefully this was a good example of that. In any case, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you guys would like to request a specific champion, then feel free to suggest in the comments and I'll see what I can find out there. I'll see if I can find some obscure champions too that people don't normally play, like I've been digging around for a Poppy video, for example. But feel free to suggest and let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can make it happen. Until then, have a good week, have a great weekend. See you guys again soon. Until then, take care.